and ellipse related conceptual ideas for mains. Okay, so total concepts of ellipse related to JEE mains I just divided into 10 points. So the first point, definition. What is basically the definition of ellipse? So every conic section or every shape of geometry is simply locus of a point. Definition of ellipse is also locus of a point P such that a point P along such that the distance of this point P from a fixed point S, distance of P from fixed point S divided by distance of P from fixed line L. This ratio is always less than 1 and this ratio is considered as eccentricity. Eccentricity of the conic section ellipse is less than 1 and that eccentricity is defined as this particular ratio. This ratio of distance of P from a fixed point to distance of P from a fixed line is always less than 1. Okay, so basically to define ellipse what we need initially, we need a fixed point and a fixed line. So మనకి ఎలిప్స్ గురించి లొకేట్ చేయాలంటే ముందుగా మనకు ఒక ఫిక్స్డ్ పాయింట్ ఒక ఫిక్స్డ్ లైన్ తెలిస్తే ఇలాంటి లోకస్ ఆఫ్ పీని మనం ఎలిప్స్ అని చెప్పొచ్చు. ఈ ఫిక్స్డ్ పాయింట్నే మనం ఫర్దర్గా ఏమని పిలుస్తామంటే we call this fixed point as focus of the ellipse and this fixed line as directrix of the ellipse. Okay, so for example ఇక్కడ ఫిక్స్డ్ లైన్ ఉంటే సమ్వేర్ ఇక్కడ ఫిక్స్డ్ పాయింట్ ఉంటే ఓకేనా, ఈ ఫిక్స్డ్ పాయింట్కి ఈ ఫిక్స్డ్ లైన్కి సో ఈ లెస్ దాన్ 1 అయ్యేటువంటి రేషియో మెయింటైన్ చేయాలి. అంటే సమ్వేర్ ఐ హ్యావ్ ఎ పాయింట్ పి, ఇక్కడ ఎక్కడ ఒక పాయింట్ పి ఉందనుకోండి మన దగ్గర. దిస్ పి ఈజ్ సమ్వాట్ నియర్ టు ది ఎస్ యాజ్ సమ్వాట్ లార్జర్ టు ది అంటే మోర్ డిస్టెన్స్ టు ద లైన్. ఎస్ దిస్ డిస్టెన్స్ ఈజ్ లెస్ దాన్, this ratio is less than 1, that in turn represents that the numerator distance is lesser, the denominator distance is more. So a point P which is nearer to S and somewhat far away from the line, so these type of points is we locate, the locus will form ellipse. Okay, so based on this definition we have definition form of ellipse also. Definition form, what is this definition form? So based on this locus of P, for suppose there are some questions based on this definition form. Square root of something like this, okay, x minus 2 whole square plus y plus 1 whole square is equals to something I am giving, okay, is equals to modulus of something, I need to take E also, some 3/7 into modulus of 3x minus 4y plus 1 divided by root of 3 square plus 4 square. Just think about it. See, if we have a relation on xy, okay, what is the locus of xy? Locus of x comma y satisfying this relation we need to mention. If you observe very carefully, this square root of x minus 2 whole square plus y plus 1 whole square is nothing but distance from x comma y p to the point 2 comma minus 1 is equals to some 3/7 which is less than 1, a number which is less than 1, and this is nothing but distance of point p to the line 3x minus 4y plus 1 is equals to 0. That it then represents that distance of a point from a fixed point 2 comma minus 1 and a distance of a point x comma y to a fixed line, and this ratio is 3/7 which is less than 1. All these type of equations related to xy always for sure represents an ellipse. And coming to this particular locus representation, this fixed point is focus. This line 3x minus 4y plus 1 is equals 0 is directrix. మనకు తెలుసు కదా 2 పాయింట్స్ మధ్య డిస్టెన్స్ ఫార్ములా. అలానే ఒక పాయింట్ x, y నుంచి ఒక లైన్కి డిస్టెన్స్ ఫార్ములా కూడా మనకు తెలుసు. సో డిస్టెన్స్ ఫార్ములా అప్లై చేస్తున్నాం. యాజ్ పర్ ద డెఫినేషన్, డిస్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ locus x, y to a fixed point divided by distance of locus x, y to a fixed line, that ratio is less than 1. So based on this is definition form. సో ఈ ఫామ్లో ఏదైనా ఒక రిలేషన్ ప్రాబ్లమ్లో మనం ఫేస్ చేసినా we need to identify that this x, y represents ellipse and this point is focus, that line is directrix. Okay, this is basically definition form of the ellipse, and there we need to memorize that this point as well, eccentricity less than 1. And after this definition form, we need to know about general form. Okay, see, general form is derived from general second degree equation. See, we have a general second degree equation like this: ax square plus 2hxy plus by square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equals to 0. Okay, this is a general second degree equation. This general second degree equation also represents ellipse with certain condition on coefficients, and this form is known as general form of ellipse. And whenever this general second degree equation represents an ellipse, so it represents an ellipse based on the coefficients. One thing is determinant of a, b, c, h, g, f as well h, g, f. This determinant value is not equals to 0, and h square minus ab less than 1 with these two restrictions. What are those two restrictions? Just have a look once again. Determinant of abc hgf is not equals to 0, as well h square minus ab less than 1. With this restriction, this general second degree equation ax square plus 2hxy plus by square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equals to 0 represents an ellipse. And to find the center of the ellipse with the general second degree equation, we need to differentiate the total equation with respect to x1s as well with respect to y1s, and we need to solve. For example, this is the general second degree equation. If you differentiate this total equation with respect to x, you will get some dou s by dou x is equals to 0. Whereas if you differentiate with respect to y, you will get dou s by dou y is equals to 0. Dou s by dou x in the sense, differentiating with respect to x, treating y as constant. Dou s by dou y means differentiating with respect to y, treating x as constant. So solve these two to get x and y. That represents the center of the ellipse. Basically, what is a center? Already we discussed it, parabola. And the second point, again I will mention all those terms related to ellipse. So basically, in first point, I am trying to explain you about definition form as well general form. Okay, total ga ellipse related ga manaki 5 different forms ఉంటాయి. Okay, just 5 different most ఎక్కువగా మనం యూజ్ చేసే ఫార్మ్స్ 5 ఫార్మ్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో వాటిలో డెఫినేషన్ ఫామ్ అండ్ జనరల్ ఫామ్ని ఫస్ట్ పాయింట్లో డిస్కస్ చేసాం, అండ్ స్టాండర్డ్ ఫామ్ని సెకండ్ పాయింట్లో, అదర్ 2 ఫార్మ్స్ని థర్డ్ పాయింట్లో అలా మనం డిస్కస్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. సో వన్స్ ఫార్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఎలిప్స్ మనం ఐడెంటిఫై చేయగలిగితే ఈజీగా ప్రాబ్లమ్ని మనం అర్థం చేసుకోవచ్చు. దెన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఈజీ టు ఆన్సర్ ఎనీథింగ్. Now the second point is related to standard form of ellipse. Standard form of ellipse and axis of the ellipse are along the coordinate axis. Okay. See, the general standard form of the ellipse is x square by a square plus y square by b square is equals to 1 for a greater than b. And the equation, the curve of this equation is ellipse and it represents the coordinate system. So when you observe, this is major axis of the ellipse, this is minor axis of the ellipse, these two are directrices of the ellipse, this point is the center of the ellipse, these 2 points are vertices of the ellipse. Okay, and since it is x square by a square plus y square by b square is equals to 1, we know that this distance is a and this distance is b, and somewhere on this line we have focus. and according to symmetry, ellipse has two foci, S and S dash. So what we need to observe related to this standard form of the ellipse. Okay, if the equation is x square by a square plus y square by b square is equals to 1, then related to this equation, what we need to identify? Just have a look. Okay, for this, first thing is major axis, and the second thing is minor axis. Okay, and the next thing is about directrix. And one more thing we need to identify. Okay, what it is? Lattice rectum. At least these points we need to identify. For this ellipse, what is the major axis? What is the major axis? Equation of major axis. Major axis is this x-axis. Equation of major axis is y is equals to 0, and end points of the major axis. Since this lengthens a, end points of the major axis is plus or minus a comma 0. This point is a comma 0. This point is minus a comma 0. And after that, length of major axis. Length of major axis is 2a. And here again we need to memorize that length of major axis is 2a. Sometimes we will use length of semi major axis, and which is half of this 2a, we take it as a. Okay. Similarly, coming to minor axis. Minor axis is this vertical line which is y-axis, whose equation is x is equals to 0. And points of that minor axis are 0, comma plus or minus b. Okay, these points as well. Length. Length of this minor axis is 2b. And as I said, sometimes we use the word length of semi-minor axis, which is b. Next thing is directrix. See, when you look at this directrix, see, these are the foot of intersection of the directrix with axis, and that point is, see, I need to mention you about focus also. Focus. First of all, just think about focus. Focus as well eccentricity, everything we need to mention. Okay, focus, and the next thing is eccentricity. For this equation, x square by a square plus y square by b square is equals to 1. If we calculate, okay, what will be the eccentricity? Eccentricity is nothing but square root of 1 minus b square by a square. Since it is less than 1, this value is again less than 1. This is eccentricity. If you know a and b, calculate eccentricity using this formula. After calculating eccentricity, just look at focus. The coordinates of focus are plus or minus ae comma 0, and we have two foci here, s dash. Okay, right. And the same way now coming to directrix, these points, okay, intersections of directrices with axis are plus or minus a by e comma 0. Whereas if you think about equation of directrix, one thing is we need to mention plus or minus a by e comma 0 as see intersection of directrices with axis. When you think about equation of directrix, since they are perpendicular, so they are parallel to y-axis, so the equation are x is equals to plus or minus a by e. This is about directrix. And the next thing is lattice rectum. As we know, lattice rectum is a line or chord of the ellipse perpendicular to the axis passing through the focus. So, coordinates of the lattice rectum are nothing but what it is? Plus or minus a by e comma plus or minus b square by a. Okay, totally we will get 4 endpoints of lattice rectum. Okay, this is one point, this is another endpoint. Again, if you sketch another lattice rectum here, this is another endpoint, this is another endpoint. So we will get 4 endpoints of lattice rectum. Those 4 endpoints are simply nothing but plus or minus a e comma plus or minus b square by a plus this point, and plus minus this point, minus this point, minus and plus this point, 4 endpoints. And now after having these 4 endpoints, what to say about this length of lattice rectum? Okay, so at lattice rectum we need to mention along with the endpoints length as 2b square by a. Just have a look everything related to the standard form. All these things we need to memorize, okay? Major axis, minor axis, directrix, lattice rectum, focus and eccentricity. And one more thing here we need to observe, okay? If we name these endpoints of major axis as a and a dash, what is its distance? If endpoints of minor axis is b dash, what is its distance? If the foci points are s dash, what is the distance? If this is z and z dash, intersection of directrix with the axis, what is the distance z dash? Everything we need to memorize. If you have an idea about all these points and an idea about the picture, then it is easy to mention a dash is equals to 2a, b dash is equals to 2b, s dash is equals to 2ae, z dash is equals to 2a by e. Okay, sometimes these lengths are also useful to answer the questions. So this is all about the second point. Okay, see, I have to mention one more thing also in second point. First of all, standard form of the ellipse, x square by a square plus y square by b square is equals to 1 if a greater than b. Okay, this is the diagram and these are the points related to the diagram. These are the terms related to diagram we need to memorize to understand and to analyze the questions of ellipse. So now, general standard form, and usually most of the cases, 99% of the problems, we use just this standard form of the ellipse, x square by a square plus y square by b square is equals to 1 for a greater than b. Okay, if this is the ellipse and we have all these terms related to ellipse. Okay, right. And for suppose the same equation, instead of a greater than b, if we have a less than b, then how to analyze and how to understand that ellipse equation, how to write all these coordinates, lengths and terms related to that ellipse. So simply look here, if first ellipse ki ivanni రాయడం మనకు తెలిస్తే for a less than b, ఈ ellipse ki మనం పెద్దగా ఆలోచించాల్సిన పని లేదు. సో whereas first equation in coordinate system ఇలా ఉంటే ellipse curve, second ellipse curve ఇలా vertical గా ఉంటుంది. అండ్ రెండోది యూ జస్ట్ ఇంటర్చేంజ్ ఏ అండ్ బి. ఇక్కడ ఏవైతే మెజర్మెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయో వీటన్నిటిలో ఏ ప్లేస్లో బి ప్లేస్లో ఏ రాసేస్తే ఈ ఎలిప్స్కి సంబంధించి అన్ని జనరేట్ అయిపోయినట్టే. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు మేజర్ యాక్సెస్ యొక్క లెంత్ కావాలి, ఏ 2a, యూ జస్ట్ రైట్ ఇట్ బి 2b. మైనర్ యాక్సెస్ యొక్క లెంత్ కావాలి, హియర్ వీ హ్యావ్ 2b, యూ జస్ట్ రైట్ ఇట్ ఏ 2a, దట్స్ ఇట్. ఓకే, డైరెక్ట్రిక్స్, రీప్లేస్ ఏ విత్ b by e. Eccentricity, 1 minus b square by a square, replace a with b with a, interchange a and b, so root of 1 minus a square by b square. Like that, for a greater than b, usually we learn and we solve problems. But if there is a question of ellipse related to a less than b, ఇవన్నీ మనకు తెలుసు కాబట్టి జస్ట్ ఏబీని ఇంటర్చేంజ్ చేస్తే సరిపోతుంది. మళ్ళీ అన్నీ మనం కష్టపడి నేర్చుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, అంటే బైహార్ట్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. ఇది మనం కరెక్ట్గా యూజ్ చేయగలిగితే అవసరమైనప్పుడు జస్ట్ ఇంటర్చేంజ్ చేయండి, దట్స్ ఇట్. అండ్ ద సేమ్ వే అనదర్ ఫార్మ్ ఆఫ్ ఎలిప్స్, ఈక్వేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఎలిప్స్ whose center is at h comma k. For this ellipse actually center is at origin, okay, intersection of x axis and y axis. If center is at h comma k, then again how to write all these coordinates. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేయాలంటే ఇక్కడ మనం ఏదైతే కోఆర్డినేట్స్ రాసామో x కోఆర్డినేట్ ని we need to rise by h, whereas y coordinate we need to rise by k. That's it. ఇక్కడ రాసిన ప్రతి కోఆర్డినేట్లో కూడా x కోఆర్డినేట్ h రైజ్ చేయాలి, y కోఆర్డినేట్ని k రైజ్ చేస్తే ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఈ ఎలిప్స్కి సంబంధించి అన్ని మన దగ్గర ఉన్నట్టే. ఇప్పుడు మేజర్ యాక్సిస్ ఒక అండ్ పాయింట్ ప్లస్ ఆర్ మైనస్ a, 0. మరి ఈ ఎలిప్స్కి కావాలంటే యాడ్ h ఫర్ దట్ x కోఆర్డినేట్, యాడ్ k ఫర్ ద y కోఆర్డినేట్. సో వాట్ ఆర్ ద అండ్ పాయింట్స్ ఆఫ్ మేజర్ యాక్సిస్ ఫర్ దిస్ ఎలిప్స్? ప్లస్ ఆర్ మైనస్ a ప్లస్ h, 0 ప్లస్ k అయిపోయింది. h ప్లస్ ఆర్ మైనస్ a, k. అండ్ లెంత్ ఏమవుతుంది? డిస్టెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ దోస్ టూ, ఇట్ బికమ్స్ 2a అగైన్. లెంత్ మారట్లేదు, కోఆర్డినేట్సే మారుతున్నాయి. అలానే మైనర్ యాక్సెస్ కావాలి, x కోఆర్డినేట్ h రైజ్ చేయాలి. సో h, y coordinate ని k రైజ్ చేయాలి ప్లస్ ఆర్ మైనస్ b ప్లస్ k coordinates change होते हैं but length won't change, again the length is 2b. Okay, just have a look. So once if we are good at all these terms and values coordinates related to this ellipse, then if a less than b, interchange a and b, enough, we have everything. Then for this type of ellipse having symmetry h comma k, you just rise x coordinate by h, rise y coordinate by k, that's enough. Then we have all these coordinates, lengths and everything for this ellipse also. Okay, this is the way of understanding standard form of the ellipse. So let P be a point on ellipse. So ellipse means, for suppose if we have a point P on that ellipse, then what we need to observe? See, P is a point on this ellipse, okay? Our concentration is on this type of ellipse only, okay? Let P be a point on the ellipse, then first thing, the parametric coordinates of the ellipse are nothing but a cos theta comma b sin theta. Parametric coordinates are a cos theta comma b sin theta. That is the first thing. And the second thing, if you wish to calculate what I would say, focal distance, sp or s dash p. If you wish to calculate sp or s dash p, okay, as we said, according to symmetry, this ellipse has what? Two foci, okay? So here we have one foci and here we have another foci. Now P is a point on this ellipse. Now what is this distance SP? This distance SP is nothing but a minus e x1. If P is a point whose coordinates are x1, y1, then SP is a minus e x1, whereas s dash P is a plus e x1. Okay, SP and s dash P. After having SP and s dash P, what you say about SP plus s dash P? Always SP plus s dash P is equals to 2a. One of the useful idea related to the ellipse. For ellipse, all these terms we need to memorize. If there is a point P on the curve of the ellipse, then we need to think about all these points. Parametric point, SP, s dash P, SP plus s dash P, okay? And another useful thing is 1 by SP plus 1 by SQ is equals to 2 by L. That L is nothing but length of semi-lattice rectum. 1 by SP plus 1 by SQ is equals to 2 by L. This L is nothing but what? Length of semi-lattice rectum. Already we have length of lattice rectum as 2b square by A. It's half. Its half is b square by A. If you write b square by A here, it becomes 2a by b square. Always 1 by SP plus 1 by SQ value we write. If you calculate, you will get it as 2a by b square, or otherwise 2 by length of semi-lattice rectum. Okay. See, related to a point P on the ellipse, we need to memorize at least these 4 points. Parametric coordinates of the point, focal distance of the point, sum of the focal distance, as well 1 by SP plus 1 by SQ. This is all the second point related to ellipse. Most of the cases, మనం రాసే ఎగ్జామ్స్లో మెయిన్స్ ఎగ్జామ్ రిలేటెడ్గా ఇలా ఈ సెకండ్ పాయింట్ రిలేటెడ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇన్వాల్వ్ అయ్యే అవకాశం ఉంది. యాజ్ వెల్ ఏ ప్రాబ్లం ఇచ్చినా సరే మనం ఈ సెకండ్ పాయింట్లో డిస్కస్ చేసినటువంటి కాన్సెప్ట్ యూజ్ చేసి ఈజీగా ఆన్సర్ చేయొచ్చు. So comparison of a line with the ellipse, and that line is usually y is equal to mx plus c form, and that ellipse is x square by a square plus y square by b square is equals to 1. So when you compare these two, when you try to get intersection points of these two, okay, we have different discussions based on this c, m and ap. Okay, one thing is c square value is less than a square m square plus b square, and the other thing is c square is equals to a square m square plus b square, and the third thing is c square is greater than a square m square plus b square. So we need to compare c square value along with a square m square plus b square. So if c square is lesser, then it in turn represents that the line is just like a chord of the ellipse, whereas if it is equals to, then it will become tangent of the ellipse, and in this case see, neither tangent nor secant, okay? What it means? In the first case, if c square is less than a square m square plus b square, see, these two have two intersection points, whereas in the second case, these two have, line and ellipse has only one intersection point, whereas in the third case, this line and the ellipse has no intersection points. So with the discussion, now it is easy for us to generalize general form of tangent for the ellipse, general tangent equation or tangent equation having slope m. General tangent equation having slope m is y is equals to mx plus or minus root of a square m square plus b square. That's it. Okay. Y is equals to mx plus or minus root of a square m square plus b square is general tangent equation having slope m. So మనం ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ చేసేటప్పుడు స్లోప్ గాను మనం తెలిస్తే then this is the tangent equation. Okay, and this is a tangent for this ellipse, and what to say about the point of tangency? That means this line touches this ellipse at the point. So what are the coordinates of that point? Okay, so we need to memorize those coordinates also. The coordinates of nothing but minus a square m by c comma b square by c. This is the point of tangency, or you may call point of contact, the intersection of this line with the ellipse. Okay, and not only this, if we have point x1 comma y1 on ellipse equation, then what is the equation of tangent? So already we have that s1 is equals to 0. Okay, using s1 is equals to 0, it is easy to write the tangent equation for any point on the ellipse. If there is a point on the ellipse, it generates one tangent for the ellipse. If a point is exterior to the ellipse, it gives you two tangents. Okay, this is something about the equation of tangent for standard form of the ellipse. As I said, if point is x1 comma y1, then what we say about the equation of tangent? S1 is equals to 0. Then for this tangent equation, what is the slope? That in a sense, what I am going to tell you is, at x1 y1, if we sketch a tangent, then what is the slope of tangent? Okay, I have a point p x1 y1 on the ellipse. At that point I have a tangent. What is its slope? For that we need to calculate dy by dx. So what is calculate dy by dx from this? If you calculate, this is what, 2x by a square, 2y dash by b square. You simply cancel out that 2 because right side you have 0. I am just calculating y dash. Y dash is equals to minus x by a square. Okay, then it becomes minus b square x by a square y1. b square x1 by a square y1 is the slope of the tangent at the point x1 y1 to the ellipse. Instead of that x1 y1, if our point p is in parametric form a cos theta comma b sin theta, then what to say about the slope of tangent? We need to replace x1 with a cos theta, y1 with b sin theta. After that ab and ab gets cancelled, then we left with minus b cos theta divided by a sin theta. This is somewhat useful to answer. Have a look. This is something related to the tangent and ellipse. All these points we need to memorize. Equation of pair of tangents. If a point p x1 y1 is outside of the ellipse, x square by a square plus y square by b square is equals to 1, then with respect to this point for the ellipse, if we calculate s11, we will get greater than 0. This type of notations we usually lend at circles as well at parabola, now again at ellipse. Okay, right. Now if you wish to calculate the equations of the pair of tangents of this ellipse, we need to use s1 square is equals to s into s11. And one more thing, see, there are two tangents for the ellipse from the outside point p x1 y1, and if you say the slopes of these two tangents are m1 and m2, then that m1 and m2 are the roots of this quadratic equation in terms of m. Just I write it from the general form of the tangent equation. What it is? Y is equals to mx plus or minus root a square m square plus b square. Send mx left side, square it on both sides. Now we will get a quadratic in terms of m. For this m1 and m2 are the roots. After that, if theta is the angle between this pair of tangents, then we will calculate tan theta using this formula 2ab root s11 by x1 square plus y1 square minus a square minus b square. Okay, and we derive it just by using the relations on m1 and m2. Okay, after that, if this theta is equals to 90 degrees, that means angle between tangents is 90 degrees. Then the denominator will become 0. So x1 square plus y1 square is equals to a square plus b square is locus of this point P. Okay, then in this case, locus of P is a circle. Just look here. X1 square plus y1 square is equals to a square plus b square is a general circle equation, and we call this circle as director circle. What it is? Director circle. Just have a look. If tangents are perpendicular related to parabola, then point of intersection of those two tangents is on directrix. Whereas for ellipse, if two tangents are perpendicular from an external point, that external point is a point on the director circle. For parabola it is directrix, whereas here we call it as a director circle whose equation is x square plus y square is equals to a square plus b square. These points we need to memorize related to pair of tangents. And that's related to first four conceptual ideas related to ellipse. Okay, see, ఖచ్చితంగా ఈ పాయింట్స్ అన్నీ మీరు ఎలిప్స్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ సాల్వ్ చేయడంలో చాలా హెల్ప్ అవుతాయి. ఓకే, ఇఫ్ యూ అగ్రీ విత్ దట్, you just like this video. As well, don't forget to share this video for your fellow aspirants. Do subscribe for the channel. Encourage your fellow aspirants to excel in their education. Thank you.